Welcome to Thinking Outside the Soil with your host, Shani Alfalfa Seed, where we get to talk story and touch on topics about hydroponics and the farmers who grow the crops and creatures we need to eat. Today's episode is a bit of a treat for you. This is something that I was recording in anticipation for publishing it last season while I was thinking about some of the other things we're doing here at the farm that go beyond hydroponic. It's a little bit more raw than normal, but I did put on some sound to make it pleasurable to the ear. So do please enjoy and hear from you soon. Good morning, and hello from Blooming How Farms, and thank you for being with me on this beautiful day. I've been supervising more and more community service for the courts lately, so we've got some kids in the juvenile probation here in northern Colorado that need to fulfill their community service hours for the courts. Here we call it useful public service. So today I really wanted to talk a little bit about how we are using agriculture and specifically our aquaponic chicken farm to help the kids in the court system here in northern Colorado. Now, the big idea that we are utilizing is this concept called restorative justice. And restorative justice, in essence, is really the idea of empowering the entire community to help rehabilitate those of us that are getting in trouble or are uninformed with our rights. So it's really the idea that we all have to come together in order to make a better place. But it also means for those of us that are navigating some of these legal or corporate challenges that we are going to reach out to some non-traditional resources. Non-traditional meaning those are the ones that we are least familiar with. So let's just put it on the opposite side. You are driving down the street, you look in your rear view mirror and you see the red and blue, and then he writes you a ticket, or she writes you a ticket, and you have to pay the fine or possibly go to court. So we are very much used to this law and order version of the criminal justice system, and in all honesty, it is a sliver, or it is a very limited scope of what actually goes on. There's a lot of individuals like myself who have been in and out of jail that can offer valuable experience and advice to those that are involved in some of these situations. But there's also a slew of other individuals out there that may have been incarcerated, they may not have been incarcerated, but they also have a unique experience for some of these different things that people may experience that, let's say, I may not be able to advise. So when we began Blooming Health Farms, we conceptualized this idea that we were going to help others using the mental health support and hydroponic agriculture as a medium to reinforce the skills that these individuals already had, and then to empower them with skills they didn't know they could learn, or to help them elucidate some of these skills that will translate into other areas of the life. We really believe that agriculture offers opportunities across all areas of industry. And I've seen from growing up in Greeley as a non-ag kid how much agriculture touches every aspect of our lives here. Now, it wasn't until we started helping some of our first kids early on with our ideas that we really started to understand that we were having an impact. Now, that looks like a lot of different things, but I love to use this idea of shock and awe in order to create engagement with the community. So here in Greeley, we are in an area that is traditionally soil-based agriculture. When I bring out these other aspects of agriculture to some of these individuals, I look like someone from a foreign country. I'm speaking a different language. I'm creating all of these new concepts, and a lot of times there can be an immediate barrier, or people's eyes and brains gloss over when you start talking about something they don't know. So I have a very I'm very attuned to other individuals' learning styles. I do my best to understand what type of way they like to receive information. Do they like to hear things? Do they like to see things? Do they like to touch things? What combination of them works best? And so I do, as quickly as I can, a quick sometimes I don't really understand how I'm able to quickly assess some of these individuals and pick up on it, but perhaps that's why I'm doing what I do, and I will find a way to create an analogy or a metaphor to whatever it is so that I can connect the dots between where they are and what it is we're trying to do. And shock and awe is actually some of the easiest ways to really catch somebody's attention and hook them like nothing else. Now, I mentioned the word soil-based agriculture very specifically. So here in our area, we are not used to seeing a lot of large bodies of water and aquatic animals as a big part of it. Now, that's not to say that we don't have rivers with fish. We do have rivers with fish, rather. Now, that's not to say we don't have things like lakes and rivers and fish and other things like that. Colorado actually sits atop of most of the watershed here in the United States. Almost all of the water in our area comes out of our state. None of the water that we use comes into our state. So we have a unique relationship with the way we do agriculture.